colleagues, David Davis, Conservative MP for Halton, Price and Haldon, and also former Shadow Home Secretary. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon.
What are your
I'm
concerns
just thinking
here?
every day for me feels like Monday at the moment. Not Sunday, but never mind. That's your song. Yes, go on. Sorry.
Well, I was, for Nigel Evans, he's at last got a bit of blue sky, but I know that you and a number of others are very concerned.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my concern starts some time ago, and it really sort of came to a peak after the Bill Roach trial. But it began to look to me as though in reaction to what was clearly a gross injustice the other way on the Jimmy Savile affair, when lots and lots of people's cases were dropped and the police appeared to be bullied or intimidated out of pursuing that properly, they sort of bent over backwards to go the other way. And we saw this a bit with the Roach case. A lot of the evidence there looked very, very flaky indeed. And the sort of evidence if I were a policeman, I would never even think of bringing it to court. And now we see it here again with Nigel Evans' case, where you've got, as you just mentioned, 3 people who were persuaded, shall we say, put it this mildest, to put their names in as complainants who didn't really want to. A member of Parliament appears to have been, at least in some sense, coerced by the police to put in a witness statement. And generally speaking, a feeling I come away with, at least, that they had a weak case and they tried to bolster it by putting in a whole load of other cases, a sort of smoke without fire strategy. Now, if that's right, and let's be clear, I wasn't in the courtroom. If that's right, then we've got to think very, very hard about making sure it doesn't happen again. Because Nigel just said he's had 11 years of hell. Roach, much the same. Both of them would have paid many, many tens of thousands. I saw a number of £100,000 to defend themselves. They won't get that money back. Real damage to their lives permanently in each case. So, question. Have we gone and bent justice to try and bend it back straight after Savile? We bent it the other way. And that's why I've said the Attorney General must look at both these cases, and any others, frankly, like them, that have come up, look at both these cases and make sure that what we get is justice for the victim, real justice for the victim, without delivering an injustice to somebody who probably should never have appeared in court.
I hear a lot of people saying that this is almost a psychological thing that's going on. The police missed Savile and they're desperate to show they would have done that kind of case. So they look for people like Savile. You have to be a celebrity. There's got to be sex involved and it's got to be historical. And that's the problem here. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I do a bit. One of the problems you see in other justice systems, and it's very clear in the American justice system, where the DAs, the district attorneys, are often elected, is they play to the case, which is dramatic and so on. And I can see the temptation to try and correct their own reputations, the police and the Crown Prosecution Service, try and correct their own reputation. They go too far the other way. And it's understandable, but it's wrong. 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 injustices don't give you justice. And there's a horrible side swipe from this as well. I've been a parliamentarian for 25 years, so you can be sure that I've had to deal with the other side of this case. Rape victims who are afraid to go to court and all the rest of it. A rape victim looking at this will think, he got off. Look again back, they got off. If they keep seeing cases where the jury quite properly returns a not guilty verdict, it's not going to encourage them to go to the police either. So it's not going to help anybody, this approach, if I'm right about it. And the only way to test that is to have the Attorney General or some other independent inquirer look at it carefully and make sure that the process is being followed properly. And if not, we actually have very strict guidelines to make sure that it is followed properly in future, including if the police think that undue influence is being brought, as in the case of Savile, or they're intimidated, they have some mechanism to deal with it too.
But I guess if we went back to the Nigel Evans case, you'd say, looking at the documents on the desk, you've got 7 alleged victims and pretty serious alleged offences there. It's difficult for the CPS to drop it, and then you also look back and you think, well, hang on, we have seen one conviction here, albeit that he pled guilty, and that's a celebrity. Actually, I tell you what, because there's outstanding stuff against the person, I won't name him. Yeah. But one person has been done.
Yeah.
And maybe you think, well, in that case, they have to pursue them.
Well, no, the operation of justice, the operation of being a policeman, the operation of being a Crown prosecutor is you exercise judgment. Now, in the Evans case, at least one of the cases, one of the serious cases brought within it, there were two sets of evidence from the same witness which were in contradiction to one another. That sort of thing should flag up a concern with you. Now, that can happen. Witness statements can be slightly different, perfectly legitimately. But these are not neophytes. These are not new graduates from law school. These are not people who just come out of police college. The people looking at this, chief constables and deputy chief constables and senior prosecutors, they know well enough to make a judgment, right, okay, this is doubtful, this is not. They have mechanisms internally to review their own procedures. They should not be, if, as I suspect they are, they should not be saying, okay, we've got sort of half a case here. If we had another quarter case here, another quarter case, another quarter case, maybe together the jury will convict. That's the wrong way to deliver justice. If you've got a rape case, you go right to the heart of it. You find out all the evidence, all the forensic evidence you get, all the witness evidence you get. No doubt character evidence, that's legitimate, but all those things, and then press that case. Don't try and back it up with weak or non-existent cases, as appears to have happened here.
Thank you very much indeed, David Davis, Conservative MP for Halton, Price and Howden. Let's talk to Lisa